Around 33 years ago, the company I work for asked me to certify over 100 welders to mill standard 1595A. That was the standard in place at the time for aerospace welding. So two things I did right away. Number one, I submitted a tooling request to get some fixtures made for testing. Number two, I got my CWI. Then a bulletin came out and there was a pretty tight deadline to get everybody certified. So my boss said, you need to start tomorrow. No fixtures yet.
Now this is a really nice aerospace purge fixture made for me by another YouTuber, A-Bomb79, Adam Booth. Super nice. This is a larger version of the ones I had made. You've seen it in multiple other videos. I'm going to show you the end of this weld here because I think it's instructive on tapering off before you get to the end of that end tack and then backing up as you taper off. Keep from blowing the end away. But you've seen this fixture used in several videos. This is the one that I cobbled together in just a few hours to start testing welders. It doesn't look like much, but it works. This is what we're welding today, a piece of 062 stainless to a piece of 040 carbon. And here's the little quick hack for you. If you need a straight plate, kind of distortion free, flat when you get finished, you can just gap them at one end like that and weld it and that gap will draw shut. I'm going to gap at about 1/8 of an inch today. That fixture requires 10 to 15 CFH of flow rate to get a good purge on the back side. That's a little bit more than some fixtures, but it's a wide area of purge there. Here's a 1/8 rod just for reference to show you. It's gapped a little bit wider than 1/8 on the very end, and that'll draw completely shut in 6 inches without tacking it at all. I'm going to be using an MK14, which is part of a new Navigator kit that we've come out with at weldmonger.com. This is the all ceramic version. Some people don't need or want clear cups. I've also got an all clear cup version, but this is the MK14. It's a great choice. It's going to let me use a long stick out and get the cup out of the way of the camera so we can see the arc shots and see what's going on to learn more. One thing you have to be careful for when using a purge fixture is to not have too much purge gas flowing because it can disturb the gas coming out of the cup, especially on the very ends. After taking a few dry runs and getting comfortable, I'm ready to start. So when I first lit up and got that first tack on there, right away, it was obvious I accidentally left the pulse on from another video I was working on. No problem. All I need to do is just turn it off. I guess that since the thinner member was 40 thousandths that it would take a full 40 thousandths to make this weld, so that's what I set it at and went full pedal and wound up being pretty close to that. So I'm full pedal here at 40 amps. I lit up on that little button tack, and that's the reason for the button tack, is to keep from melting that end away. I usually add a dab or two extra on the end tack like that so I can start on it and it gives me an extra second to not blow that end away. So here it is in slow motion. I light up, I move the arc to the front of the tack and just watch the back of that puddle and let it run kind of halfway almost to the back of that tack, but not so hot that it wraps it around and completely melts it. And that gives me a full weld end to end without any divots or anything like that. Full penetration end to end. All right, now you can see the difference in thickness of the metals a little bit, and it's got just a whisper of a gap in there, but as I weld, that gap just closes up right in front of me. And since there is a little bit of a gap, I don't want to step out too far in between dabs of filler metal. If you do that, you might keyhole it out, make a little hole, have to fill it in. You don't want that. So I'm taking just a little bit of territory at a time between dabs of filler wire. And I'm not pushing a lot of filler wire in there either. It's a 1/16 diameter 312L stainless. I'm just dabbing it just a little bit. And right here I'm leaving the rod in the puddle as I get to the very end to keep from blowing that end away. And there it is. That 1/8 gap completely closed by the time I got to the end of a 6-inch long piece. You can see how long of a stick out I was using and still getting really good gas coverage. So now it's time to take the piece out of the fixture, check and see if I got full penetration, and check and see if I got a good purge on the back side. Front side looks okay. Back side, full penetration end to end. And because I use that little hack of gapping it on one end and letting it close shut ahead of me, it's flat. There's hardly any distortion.
I use that MK14 ceramic cup with around 30 to 33 CFH. I used a pretty long stick out to get that cup out of the way of the camera where we could see the arc, see what was going on. But that MK14 ceramic is a cup that would be great for titanium, Inconel, stainless steel, tool steels, and it's part of a new kit that we have put together at weldmonger.com. We've got several different versions of it, and the rest of this video is a flat-out commercial for that kit. If that bothers you, I expect you'll bail right now, but if you're hanging around, let's watch it.
The kit I'm using for this video is an all-ceramic version for a 17 style torch that uses these Fixture gas lenses, which are super high quality, but when you put that together with another layer of diffusers, you can really push that argon out there, get great shielding. So what I want to do now is one by one go over these cups and some really practical applications. A great thing about a number 4 cup is it only requires 8 to 12 CFH of argon. So if you want to do some flash tacking on sheet metal, you want to save some gas on a weekend when you're about to run out, it works great. You can prop it right next to the metal with a really short stick out, hit that amperage all at once with the foot pedal, get a tack on there. A number 5 is great for aluminum. A lot of really good TIG welders love a number 5 for aluminum. It actually limits the amount of cleaning action, focuses that energy on the arc. A number 6 is a great all-around cup for walking the cup, for one thing. You need different size cups for walking the cup for different groove angles and different fillet welds. But a number 6 is great for a single pass fillet weld walking the cup like this. It's also a great all-around cup for aluminum. And one reason is that you can run just a little bit more flow rate and have a little bit longer stick out for getting in tight spots and seeing the tip of that electrode. If you need a little bit longer stick out, a number 7 might help you. A number 7 gas lens will let you use a pretty long stick out and still maintain really good gas coverage. And a number 8 is a great cup for stainless steel, and the argon flow rate is anywhere from 16 to 24 CFH, but you can use a really long stick out with a number 8. Here's a really good example of why I use gas lenses instead of the standard collet bodies that come with most TIG torches. This is a number 8 standard collet body cup. I'm going to use the same stick out and the same flow rate for all these welds. You can see that's less than ideal. It's a little bit gray, it's ropey. That's because there was oxides in the puddle. It wasn't shielding good. I don't do anything different. Same stick out, same argon flow rate with a number 8 gas lens cup. The difference is tremendous right there. Now if I take it a step further and put on the Jazzy 10 with the secondary diffusers, same flow rate, same stick out, I get even better results. That's why I don't typically use the standard collet bodies for stainless steel. Continuing on with the Jazzy 10 is a great all-around cup, especially great for 4130 chromoly cluster joints like this shows here. Also great for stainless steel, tool steels, and doesn't really require any more flow rate than a number 8 gas lens because of those secondary diffusers. Another place where the Jazzy 10 really shines is TIG brazing. You need really good clean metal, but you also really need good gas shielding with TIG brazing with silicon bronze. Here I'm using 2 pulses a second and a Jazzy 10 cup. Get great results. Sometimes you need just a little bit more shielding and you need to use a little bit longer stick out. The Fixture Ceramic 12 does a great job, is a great cup for stainless steel. With stainless steel, there's something called the 3-second rule because heat builds up so quickly. You need to get moving, get your puddle established, and get moving within 3 seconds. 2 seconds is even better because if you don't, heat can build up and it's really hard to outrun it. That causes excessive oxidation and excessive distortion from the heat buildup, and you don't want that. It's a good rule of thumb. You got to really get ready, focus your eyes, get that puddle established, get the rod in there, and get moving. Sometimes that takes a little bit more amperage, but sometimes a little hot and fast actually puts less heat into stainless than cold and slow. The largest cup in the Navigator ceramic kit is the BBW ceramic. This is where you need a lot of gas coverage. There are times when you do. You need a long stick out, a lot of gas coverage. One example is a titanium test joint. This one's being done in that A-bomb fixture I showed earlier. There are strict requirements for discoloration for titanium on aerospace tests, and you pretty much want your weld to be silver and discoloration free, like this. And a BBW will help you get there. Well, that's the ceramic version of our new Navigator kit. We also have a clear version. We have them for both 17 style torches and 920 style torches. See the link in the description. We'll take you right to the page where we have our kits. Visit weldmonger.com for high quality welding gear. Thanks for watching.